Sacrifice. Unselfish sacrifice. We're going to get them on a run. We're going to go, go, go. And we aren't going to stop until we go to that goal line. We are Notre Dame.
Get on the bus. Next stop, Notre Dame Stadium.
From the house that Rockne built to the dynasty of Ara Parseghian, this is the home of Fighting Irish football.
The place where greatness is earned 1 yard at a time. The field that forged Notre Dame legends like Theismann, Montana, and Brown.
The land of never quit, never surrender. The legacy, the passion, the tradition. That is Notre Dame football.
ABC57 Kickoff is back.
Bigger and better
Than ever. You're watching ABC 57 Kickoff, presented by Afdent Dental, live from the campus of Notre Dame, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
Fighting Irish football returns to a rainy South Bend. We are live on the campus of Notre Dame, where the Irish are set to face Texas A&M for a 7:30 kick tonight. And yes, the rain made its way from the 305 to the 574. Good to see you on this Saturday morning for ABC 57 Kickoff. I'm Vahid Sadrazadeh.
And I'm Allison Hayes. The Irish are looking for redemption tonight when they take on the Aggies after a disappointing loss to the Miami Hurricanes in Week 1. And is it a surprise or no surprise at all that it would be raining now again for Notre Dame football?
Listen, the conditions are right. Notre Dame must run the football this week, Allison. We were all surprised as to last week why the running backs did not get as many touches as they did, but today, a must-win situation. Look for them to run the football.
Absolutely, and they need to get that run game established, especially in this type of weather, and they really need to get that win against their only other ranked opponent on their schedule so far for this season.
A biggest question mark last week was how C.J. Carr going to play in that atmosphere, and not too bad was the answer. He led the Irish to a valiant comeback effort in the second half in Miami Gardens, ultimately just falling 3 points shy of the comeback thanks to a last-minute field goal.
After the game, a very determined Marcus Freeman rallied his team, promising the Irish are putting in the work.
We got the best leadership, and this is when leadership has to show, right? Keep us together. We got to do the work. I'm not saying continue to do the same. We got to find different ways and better ways to do it. We can't beat Notre Dame, and we know there was plays in that game we beat Notre Dame, right? Credit to them. It's a good team. Top 10 battle, we lost by 3. Okay, we lost by 3.
Well, that was one of the videos that was trending online this week, and for a right reason. Head coach Marcus Freeman talking to his players, inspiring his players after that disappointing loss to Miami in the season opener. And unfortunately, under head coach Marcus Freeman, not the first time, Allison, they've been behind the 8 ball, facing a must-win situation heading into the bulk of their schedule.
That's right. And this preseason, I sat down with Freeman in an exclusive one-on-one interview, and I asked him what those first few days are like mentally and emotionally after losing in the national championship, and how he brings his team from a loss like that back. And there are certainly some similarities that we are seeing right now in what the Irish are going through.
I think you go through a wave of emotions. You're disappointed, you're embarrassed probably first, and that's the selfish side of losing, and then you feel bad for those guys that ended their college career on a loss. You know, you're just disappointed you couldn't help them finish on a high note. But then over time, you go back and you appreciate the journey. You appreciate what that season was. You know, if you're going to only be satisfied if you win a national championship, you're not going to have a very satisfied life. And, you know, you have to appreciate the journeys for what they are, what you learn, and then get ready for the next one.
How long does it take you, though, to be able to turn that into an appreciation and in a way that you can use it as motivation or as an experience that they can learn from?
Yeah, I mean, some losses last longer. Well, especially it's the end of the season, whereas the Northern Illinois loss, you didn't have any other option but to move forward and use it and learn from it and get ready for the next game. And so that loss at the end of the year lasts a little bit longer because you don't have another game for however many months. And so it takes time. Every loss is different. But when you go back and you watch the season and you think about the journey and where this group started from, the ups and downs and where it finished, you're grateful to be on it with them.
Definitely not the first time they've been through this. They were able to rally together last season after Northern Illinois. We'll see if they can do that today.
And I'll tell you this much, and I looked this up this morning. Marcus Freeman coached Notre Dame team has not lost back-to-back games since the start of the 2022 season. So you know there's focus here with his team, and I think they'll get back on track.
Well, and speaking of, our meteorologist Dave Caulfield, he gave us a little tidbit. He said that since Marcus Freeman was named the head coach, he is 6-1 in the next game after a loss in the regular season with an average margin of victory of 27 points. So that one back-to-back loss was in 2022, falling to Ohio State in the opener and following it up with the devastating loss to Marshall. Let's never speak of that again.
No, let's not. And the 27-24 heartbreaker last week at Miami wasn't the same game as the Marshall game. They were in it all the way, and they played well. But they do have to tighten a few things up. ABC57 kickoff reporter Talia Baya is live with us now, and she has the breakdown. Talia?
Yes, I'm out here. Don't mind me. I'm a little crisscrossed right now. Didn't expect this rain. It can't escape us coming in from Miami. But anyway, the Irish, they are actually 2-3 from home. They are dead set on making sure they don't start 0-2 because that would be the first time since 2022. Freeman made it clear all week he knows what a threat Texas A&M's offense is and also their quarterback, calling him a dual threat. But he said they need to put them in as many uncomfortable situations as they can. Irish defense allowed Miami to finish with 325 total yards, 205 passing and 119 rushing. It was a lot of almost, but not many game changers. They were 5 of 14 on third downs, forced 0 turnovers, and just 1 sack. Many underperformed areas, according to Freeman.
There was a lot of, takeaways, ball security, tackling, third down on both sides, short yardage, 2 minute. Those are things that we didn't really execute well.
Tackling also lacked on post-game charts, tallying around 12 missed tackles.
As I said, we had too many missed tackles. We have to be intentional about finding ways to tackle as we're missing tackles, missed tackles.
But there were some bright spots. Notre Dame held Miami to 3.1 yards per carry on 38 rushes. Jalen Stroman led with 9 tackles, Drake Bowen had 8, and Boubacar Traore registered the lone sack. Freeman believes team captain Bowen will step up this game.
He's always going to want to play better. That's who he is. He is a perfectionist. I'm extremely confident in what Drake Bowen's going to do.
Meanwhile, star cornerback Leonard Moore was solid, recording 3 tackles. He plans on staying aggressive.
We always come into each game with the same mentality of playing fast and being violent and not letting the man across from us catch balls. But I feel like it's going to have more attention to detail this week and making sure we locked in.
Texas A&M's tape shows a quick strike pass game with more play action and screens. The Aggies also gave up 203 rush yards to UTSA in week 1, then tightened to 78 yards allowed a week later versus Utah State. Expect them to test Notre Dame's tackling in space and the Irish's early down leverage. Yes, Marcus Freeman said that, that it will be a different challenge in week 1, and all starts with stopping the run game, cleaning up tackles, and forcing as many turnovers as they can, telling players, you need to go to the ball. The ball is not coming to you. So let's hope that they can get the win tonight. But coming up, I'm actually featuring a new package called Talia's Take while I dive into social media. Back to Allison and Vahid.
All right, thanks so much, Talia. And, of course, you're going to dive into the defense as well. I thought they actually played a pretty good defensive game. They had some slip-ups, and I think that's where you found the one-handed catch against Miami. You had some lapses.
The pass interference call late in that game was devastating. The tackling and just not getting a ton of pressure on the quarterback and not causing those turnovers. That's what we're used to seeing from a Notre Dame defense. But we're going to talk about that some more throughout this show. Coming up here in just a bit, we're going to also take a look on the men, who is in, who is out for this game today.
Ask the experts. Andrew McCarthy is going to join us, a special connection to a former Notre Dame standout and now pro.
That's right, and we're also going to have a kickoff here in College Station. We take a look back from last season and the fun that we had there on that trip. And, of course, game day forecast.
Yeah, it is raining here in South Bend, so if you're coming out here afternoon, bring an umbrella maybe, a jacket, but it should be nice for game time. We'll check in with meteorologist Dave Caulfield when we come back to ABC 57 Kickoff. Stay with us.
Welcome back. It's a game day for the Irish. The 8th-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish are set to play 16th-ranked Texas A&M, and the Aggies out looking for revenge for the loss they faced in College Station last season.
The Irish, fresh off a bye week, are anxious to get back on the field for the first time in 13 days to take on the 2-0 Aggies. But wide receiver Jaden Greathouse tells us the Aggies are nothing they can't handle.
They returned a lot of their guys from last year. A lot of guys that we played last year will be playing again, and they got a lot of good athletes in their secondary. They like to get handsy a lot, and that type of deal, but it shouldn't be anything that we can't handle.
Well, after the bye, the Irish are mostly rested and ready to go. They're ready to kick off their first home game of the new season, but some players are still being considered questionable. Overall, very healthy, though, this week, or some are already ruled out of the game, but that was no surprise.
Yeah, some of the players on the men this week include Peter Jones, questionable. Justin Fisher is questionable. Devon Houston is questionable. Jagasaw, of course, he is still out. Coach Freeman said he's anxious to get back out here, but still recovering from that arm injury off the football field during the offseason.
Yes, and if you look, we've got a few more here. Tight ends, questionable. Cooper Flanagan. That's a big thing for us this season, is just needing more help in that tight end position.
Right.
So those guys are not looking to play today. They kind of keep them on there as possibilities. But the home opener, yeah, we can move on and be ready for the next one.
All right, so the list pretty short for the Irish after week one, but I'll tell you what. Do you know what is coming down that came down last week that we need help with? Rain. We need help with rain. If anybody's out there listening, and I don't know, the tailgate's pretty quiet right now.
Yeah, and definitely bring your rain gear. We are happy to have our tent coverage today.
Right. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield live on Eddy Street right now. Dave, say it ain't so, my man.
I'm so sorry, Vahid and Allison, but it seems here comes the rain again. We brought it from Miami to South Bend, and it will be here for early kickoff festivities. But I have good news. Even though it looks pretty dire right now behind me, I do think that we will be dry by game time. Another few hours of this rain, and then we should be good. I'm right outside the Hamas bookstore, actually, and they told me they've already lost count of the amount of umbrellas that they've sold just this morning alone, with that rain coming down at a pretty steady clip. As we look at the radar, a lot of the heavy stuff and the lightning is thankfully off to our south and west, but we still do have that steady rain in town, and we'll continue to move through the rest of this show and into the early afternoon this afternoon. After that, really not a lot behind it, so this could be basically it for our rainfall today. Temperatures staying pretty on the cool side in the 60s as this rain is coming down, but later on tonight, those game time temperatures in the 70s. We should see skies clear a little bit, and it'll be a nice night at Notre Dame Stadium for the big game between the Irish and the Aggies. So that is what I have for you here. It's not great now. There's a lot of ponchos, a lot of umbrellas behind me, but it will improve throughout the day. And tailgating later this afternoon actually looks to be in good shape, as too is the game, with rain not expected during that contest. For now, live outside Eddy Street Commons, meteorologist Dave Caulfield for ABC 57 Kickoff.
All right, Dave. I mean, good news for the game, bad news for tailgating, but hey, it's football season. We're just happy to be back on campus for some Fighting Irish football. Of course, last year's game was played at College Station. Very different weather there, by the way. That had to be the most oppressively humid situation I've ever been in, and it did take a toll on Notre Dame players late in that game.
It did, and, you know, the heat and humidity we saw last week in Miami as well. But we were live for that Texas A&M game last year where we walked away the victors late in that fourth quarter, and we hope to do it again today in South Bend. But we take a look back at our time in College Station.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Take a look.
This is criminal. But we're off to the airport.
Howdy, partner. Here we go.
Information.
One leg down, one leg to go. Well, I miss you guys already. Good job.
Houston, then College Station, because everything is bigger in Texas.
Who do you got?
Who do you think, really? I'm traveling from Chicago to College Station. Who do you think I got?
Go Irish.
Come with me as we fly United to Houston.
Welcome to Houston.
Welcome to Houston.
We are at Cavender's Boot City. Come on, y'all.
There's an H for Hayes. Just rodeoing. That sounds good to me.
Hook 'em horns.
It smells like leather when you walk in. It's everything in here you could possibly need or imagine.
Me and Vahid got the initials.
Should I wear it for every game? Maybe this would, like, if they win this game, maybe I will
becomes a
win.
tradition.
It will become a tradition.
It spells howdy.
Cowboy rule. But, you know, we live in Texas. It's hot all the time. So it's felt when it's cold. Straws every other time of the year.
Looks good.
Encourage Notre Dame players to get these and wear them on the sideline during the heat.
Oh, he's ready. He's ready to go.
Found it.
Got your winner?
This is called an open crown. This is a pre-shaped. Technically, old Cowboys used to wear open crowns, and however they took their hat off over time, it would just slowly push.
Oh.
Well, I have to ask you, who do you have on Saturday night?
A&M by 100. By 100.
Only in Texas, baby.
And now we're heading to one of the famous spots here in College Station. It's called the Dixie Chicken, and we're about to find out why this place is so popular.
I'll be the judge of that.
Irish invasion.
Like, why is he here? No, he's just here.
He's one of the live rattlesnakes. So sit in that little cubby right there. Because it knows instinctively, it knows that it's going to get fed.
What are you guys known for here? Freddy Burger, so that's what we should be getting.
Good memories.
Yeah, shout out to our guy, Levon
Yeah.
Whitaker. We miss him, but wish him well. He's in Texas now.
In Austin. That's awesome.
But what a great trip that was. Just to be honest, the College Station, the A&M fans were amazing. They were super hospitable. As incredible as that environment was inside of Kyle Stadium, it was a welcoming crowd. It was not a hostile crowd. It was just loud and raucous and a great example of college football.
I loved going to Texas A&M. I think that was one of our – I mean, we've been doing the show for 10 years. We've gone to a lot of stadiums. We've gone to a lot of cities. Maybe one of the smallest cities that we've been to in terms of, you know, like South Bend, right?
Sure.
In terms of population, but really hospitable, really fun. And guess what? Yep, I brought it back for this season, just for this game only. So, you know, we brought the good luck back with us. I do have to tell you one quick story, though. My wife, a year ago, when we were at Texas A&M, she was in the hospital, and I bought the belt buckle. She hates the belt buckle, by the way. I have to tell you that, if you're watching, babe. And bought the belt buckle, brought it back to South Bend. She was in the hospital. So for the NIU game, I went back to the hospital, and I was wearing the belt buckle, and she's like, if they lose, you got to take it off and throw it away. They lost for NIU. I took the belt buckle and I threw it in the garbage. And literally we were leaving the hospital after we had Ari, and I'm like, I'm taking the belt buckle with us. I can't
Couldn't
leave
let
it
it
here.
go.
I cannot leave it here. So it lives on. It lives on.
It's a good thing you pulled it out of that trash can because they went on to win out their season, go to the national championship game. So hopefully it's good luck tonight.
Hopefully the Irish and the Aggies back at it, this time in South Bend, a rainy South Bend. Have you? We'll be right back here on ABC 57 Kickoff.
I've always said to people about Notre Dame is you can just feel the history and tradition, you know, from Touchdown Jesus to just the feel in and around the stadium. You feel tradition, you feel history, you feel what that program has meant for so long to college football, and then obviously they've done a really good job with some of the recent renovations to create the modern feel to it as well. And so it's a cool place. I think it's a really unique place. It'll be a great atmosphere.
Well, tradition runs deep for Notre Dame. You just heard from Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko, of course, former assistant at Notre Dame as well. Ahead of tonight's matchup, the Aggies are looking for redemption against the Irish after losing during last year's season opener. But now they face the Irish in the house that rocked me built.
Well, a lot of questions going into game number 2 for Notre Dame, a top 20 matchup. Can they get out to a fast start? Can they establish the run? And I think maybe if I'm asking the question, what is going to happen with the offensive line? Are they going to get pushed around like they did last week, Allison?
That's right. The list of questions goes on and on. And how do the 8th-ranked Irish match up against number 16 Texas A&M? I talked with the voice of the Aggies to get his perspective on what fans can expect tonight here at Notre Dame Stadium.
Fields at the 20 to the 25, beats a defender, 35, 40. It's gone! His first TD as an Aggie!
Well, the voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco, joining us now. That had to be a fun play to call.
When it's the first touchdown, and here's a guy making his debut at Kyle Field, and as Casey Concepcion said later, he could actually hear the 12th man as he's going into the end zone. Pretty special way to, I guess, pun intended, kick off the season and the scoring for Texas A&M.
Yeah, well, he looks dangerous, that's for sure. And, of course, there has been a lot of talk about the Aggies' dual-threat quarterback, Marcel Reed. Is he healthy? I hear there's some questions there. And how dangerous is he for this Irish defense?
He is healthy. Mike Elko led off his Monday media availability by saying, hey, Marcel's fine, which is what we all wanted to know. And we're seeing a more confident Marcel Reed. He is throwing receivers open now as opposed to just identifying and getting the ball there. He helped recruit Casey Concepcion here. He helped recruit Mario Craver to the Aggies. And you're starting to see some of that rapport. And to me, I think it's one of the biggest differences between this year and last year is I think the receiver room has been upgraded for Texas A&M. They become more dangerous.
Well, he definitely has some weapons around him, including the run game, averaging 171 rushing yards per game so far on offense. But on defense, Texas A&M gave up more than 200 rushing yards to UTSA in that season opener. How do you see the D-line matching up against the likes of Notre Dame's Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price?
Boy, it's got to be a lot more firm, and that was a step they took last week. Again, Utah State, but it's going to be real. It has to be firm at the point of attack is what Mike Elko talks about. But anytime you want to stop the run, it's got to be the interior. If not, if you remember last year, Jeremiah Love helped break that game open with a long run. The Aggies have to stop that. That's been a bad trend, I think, in the first 2 weeks was the long runs.
Well, of course, head coach Mike Elko, known for his defenses, getting creative there, a little tricky. How much pressure, though, do you expect the edge guys like Cassius Hall, you mentioned, to be putting on Notre Dame quarterback C.J. Carr?
Cassius is now at the top of the scouting report, isn't he? You got to know where number 9 is at all times, and he's that special player. But I will say this. The key to a Mike Elko defense is you don't know where the pressure's coming from. He might send Bryce Anderson the safety, or he might send Marcus Ratcliffe the safety. You never know. And he disguises it so well. But can you do something and try to confuse a young quarterback Mike Elko, it's pretty special. You don't always know where that pressure's coming from. But number 9, Cassius Howe, has to be good for Texas A&M.
At one point, Howe 3 straight sacks. Am I right?
Unbelievable that it hadn't happened. We got a note after. It hadn't happened in college football since 2015.
Very cool, but I think Notre Dame fans do not want to see that happening this weekend. And I'm going to guess this next question. This might play into your answer here, but in your opinion, what areas do you feel Texas A&M has an advantage over the Irish, and what do you think they need to do to get the win in South Bend?
Every strength that you think Texas A&M has, I think, is neutralized, or Notre Dame. Like, Aggies brought back every running back from last season. That entire running back room is back. But it's not Love and Price. They have a defense. Yeah, but this defense has been together. But it got me thinking, perhaps the return game, and those are the hidden yards in a game. Now, after 2 weeks, will Notre Dame kick to Casey Concepcion? Will they kick on kickoffs to Terry Bussey? It'll be interesting. They have been very good in the return game, and that is something that the Aggies really focused on. To me, it's like starting the conference. It really is with this type of test against number 8 Notre Dame. They're going to have to keep the mistakes to a minimum, and they're going to have to be explosive. If they can get those explosive plays, and that includes kick returns, then I think Texas A&M gives themselves a chance.
Yes, coming up after the break, I welcome you to the first ever Tally's Take, where I dive into what's trending on social media this week in the Notre Dame football world. So you won't want to miss it.
Well, boy, you said it a minute ago here while we were in break. The weather can change on a dime in South Bend. It is raining, it is pouring, it is lightning here in South Bend, but Tally's Takes debuts for the first time today.
Yeah, and our newest ABC57 kickoff reporter, she is getting a real taste of what Michiana life is all about, but she basically lives on social media, and she's here now to break down what's trending in the Notre Dame world, so to speak, so you don't have to scroll for hours. Hey, Talia.
Hey, yes, this weather is crazy, but like you said, as a Gen Zer, social media is my ESPN, my sports center, my group chat, all in one. It's where fans go and let it all out, the good, the bad, the ugly. So without further ado, here is the first ever Tally's Take. Take a listen. First off, trending on the list is Shane Gillis becoming the A-lister celebrity advocate for Notre Dame. Most fans are loving it, but there's a few not so much. Some people saying Shane Gillis adds to the spirit. This feels like a win. We appreciate him. A fun boost. But others saying yawn, no one cares, and a distraction. With one even saying every school wants their celebrity fan to be Drake or Taylor Swift, and Notre Dame gets ... Shane Gillis. However, fun fact, Taylor Swift is actually an Irish fan, her brother attending the university. My take: honestly guys, I am loving the Shane Gillis and Freeman collab, especially in that Under Armour commercial. I think it's really a breath of fresh air seeing Freeman let loose and kind of have some fun.
We appreciate him and the support he gives our program. Having somebody like Shane Gillis, support you guys, helps you recruiting, I guess. It makes us kind of cool, I guess.
Now, what else are fans saying? Notre Dame needs to run the dang ball, literally.
Enough with the trick plays, Bert. Run the dang ball.
Fans keep tweeting this about offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock over and over again. However, fans, don't be worried. On3 journalist Tyler Horka reported star running back Jadarian Price said he's seen his 40-yard touchdown last year over 100 times, saying he really wants to up that, scoring a 60-yard touchdown this time instead.
This one will be totally possible if Mike Denbrock uses Jeremiah Love, because Texas A&M in their season opener allowed UTSA to run for 203 yards. Love only had 10 carries in the Miami game, but he needs around 20.
And the post of the week, gaining the most traction, is this Florida State fan posting this. Notre Dame has yet to win a football game this season, generating 3.6 million views. The best part of it, one sports reporter clapping back, basically saying, "This you?" Yes, well, that's a wrap on Tally's Take. I hope you enjoyed it. It's where tweets never sleep, and energy just simply never dies. But I'll keep scrolling so you don't have to. Until next time, Irish fans, I'm Talia Baya, ABC 57 News.
Well, thank you, Talia. Definitely in her element there. Now, quarterback C.J. Carr will undoubtedly be a focus on the field this week, but he and other Fighting Irish quarterbacks are giving back off the field as well. More on their cause next.
Well, this summer, the entire Notre Dame quarterback room put competition aside for one night and came together for something bigger than football.
Yeah, that's right. The QBs for a Cause event brought together Irish quarterbacks past and present in support of two very special causes.
I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. It means so much to me and my family.
QBs for a Cause featured all four of the current Notre Dame quarterbacks: C.J. Carr, Kenny Minchey, Anthony Rizak, and true freshman Blake Hebert, along with former Irish field generals Ian Book and Riley Leonard.
You know, scoring touchdowns is cool and all, but like, who am I? You know, I'm nobody compared to what these kids have over here. And
my family has a foundation called the Chad Tough Foundation, which raises money for DIPG, which is rare brain cancer. And Riley Leonard, who is with the Colts now, was a great Notre Dame quarterback, brought us to a national championship. So Grandpa has a foundation which helps fund schools in Zimbabwe. So that was a great opportunity for everyone to kind of come together for something just more than football.
Last season on ABC57 Kickoff, we introduced you to the Buy a Brick Foundation.
I mean, that's what it's all about. I think our quarterback room is really a huge reason why, you know, our team and I had success last year. Like, they were the most supportive people coming out to the sideline after an interception. Those are the first guys that would, kind of pick me up and stuff like that. So, like, to be here with them doing things way more important than football kind of just puts a full circle to my Notre Dame experience.
We are so excited. Things are starting to happen.
Riley's grandpa, Gib Leonard, established the organization more than 20 years ago to fight poverty in Zimbabwe, Africa, through spiritual, agricultural, medical, and educational improvements.
The Bible verse I wear, Matthew 23:12, those who exalt themselves will be humbled, but those who humble themselves will be exalted, is something that, I kind of just learned from my grandpa.
Chad Tough was created in memory of CJ's little brother Chad, who lost his battle with a deadly form of brain cancer when he was just 10 years old.
It's been a blessing for me to be able to focus on something and to know that we're making a real difference. And doctors now say there'll be a cure in our lifetime, and they wouldn't have said that before Chad. So it's an incredible legacy, and I know he's smiling down on us.
The night was filled with smiles. And the gunslingers forgot about competition and used their platforms to raise money and awareness for causes close to their hearts.
You're obviously competing against the other guy, but at the same time, it's like, those are some of your best friends on the team. So it's an interesting dynamic, but I think we navigate it really well. And Coach G, our quarterback coach, helps out a lot with that. I don't know. I feel like our locker room in general is super tight. Makes it super easy for the quarterbacks to be tight as well.
While the subject matter was serious, Book made the event fun. From a little Q&A session.
Don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone has their own journey. Just be focused on yourself and your work.
To trivia.
Who's Notre Dame's all-time winningest quarterback?
And even a little throwing practice.
It's the platform that you get at Notre Dame, and it doesn't happen everywhere, and it's about what you do with it. And these guys are... Gosh, I feel like the old guy now. I'm like, these guys are young, and they're already taking advantage of this and spreading the word, raising money, and helping so many people.
The event not only raised money, but it also brought them closer as teammates and friends.
These guys, I know I've only been here about 6 or 7 months, and these guys have, really feel like family to me, and they've grown really close to them. These guys are all great role models for me, like football aside, just as men.
Events and causes like these may not have been the reason they chose Notre Dame, but they say it's all a part of what makes their student-athlete experience so unique.
I think kind of what drew me in was the community of Notre Dame. I felt like I was at home, and I didn't really know what that feeling was until you get here and obviously experience what all the other guys have talked about, just the people wanting to help. If you're a Domer, then you're trying to help your fellow Irish, and that sense of community is kind of what drew me to Notre Dame. I didn't really know the extent of it until I actually got here, and you can see tonight just kind of the results of that.
Glad God put this on my journey to come to Notre Dame, because I feel like deep down I do want to try and help people as best I can and try and spread his word and just be a giver and be a disciple of him. So him allowing me to come to Notre Dame, I feel like he's encouraged me to do that, and just the community here at Notre Dame, the people on staff that encourage us to help people within the community and in other cities surrounding.
It truly was an incredible event. CJ's mom, Tammy, tells me the event raised $150,000. And over the past 10 years, Chad Tuff has contributed more than $40 million to the DIPG research funding around the world.
Well, that is truly incredible. And you know how tight-knit the quarterback rooms are around the country. And the quarterbacks rooms here at Notre Dame, how tight-knit those are. Talk about the bonding for those guys in that night and what it was like.
Well, Kenny Minchie, he told me that he genuinely just enjoyed getting to hang out with those guys. He said that they rode a bus from South Bend to Chicago together, just hanging out, having a good time, and that he was in awe of Ian Book. He said that he had grown up watching Ian at Notre Dame, so to have the opportunity to just talk with him, and they've also been able to work out together now. He said it was a dream come true.
I didn't know Minchie and Leonard are actually friends, though.
They are best friends. Kenny told me that they were best friends on the team last season. They still regularly text each other every week. And he said it was just great to have the opportunity to catch up with Riley before the NFL and college seasons begin. I'll have an interview coming up this season with Riley Leonard one-on-one as well.
And if you want more information on both Chad Tuff and the Buy a Brick Foundation, you can go straight to our website. We'll have the information there, ABC57.com.
And actually, in my one-on-one interview with Marcus Freeman this preseason, I asked him about quarterbacks for a cause and just kind of what that says about his QBs in that room.
The hardest thing to do, I think, for a lot of our young people is to be unselfish and to put something greater than themselves in front of themselves, right? And I think that's a reflection of what you see with that QBs for a cause, is that at the end of the day, what's most important to that room is that room.
Well, joining us now, we have a special guest here with us, Annie Whitskin from Stretch Lab. You brought your crew with you today.
I did, yes,
the
I
weather
did.
kind of messing things up, so we bring you
All
all
right.
in here nice and tight. But
we thrive in chaos.
Exactly.
So it works for us just fine.
You guys, tell us a little bit about what Stretch Lab does, and you brought some people here with us. I'm ready to get loosened up.
So my flexologists are going to work on you guys, and what Stretch Lab does, we are one-on-one assisted stretching. We work on a range of motion, mobility, flexibility, pain, and stress relief. So I have Tim and Lindsay here with me, and they're going to work that stress out of your guys' neck and shoulders while we're here, and then we'll get you handled that way. But everything at Stretch Lab, everyone's qualified. We are a health and wellness facility, and we're more than happy to be here today.
So how do you, like, when somebody comes in and they're like, oh my gosh, my neck or my shoulder. We saw somebody over here earlier today say that, she didn't sleep well and her leg was kind of hurting her. So when somebody comes in, do they have like an initial consultation?
So
and what happens?
Every first visit when someone comes in, we have something in our studio called a MAPS machine that uses infrared technology, and then it'll scan your body and pinpoint the areas that need a bit more work than others, and that'll be customized by our wonderful flexologists here, that routine, and get them in of what they need for their all-over event.
Now, I've been stretched out with Stretch Lab before golf outings, and it really helps. I have really tight hip flexors through the hips, IT bands, and it was wonderful. I mean, my back felt loose, and it was really beneficial. I'm really looking forward to coming back.
And I can't wait to have you back.
And I'm looking forward to having your assistants here show us what to do. So
our flexes are amazing.
We don't have a ton of time or a ton of space, so we're doing shoulders and neck. And I don't know about you, but I hold a ton of tension in there.
Oh,
What
literally.
is the best way
Left
to kind of
side.
stretch that out?
A lot of traction. We'll pull your limbs. We'll give you some space. We'll decompress the tension.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
All right. Let's
All
We
right.
don't mind our cords. We got a few cords in the
I
way.
can step out if you guys want to enjoy your
Sure.
stretches.
All right, so just kind of walk us through maybe what they're doing or what they're looking for.
Of course. So mainly what they're going to look for is how to relieve the best way to relieve your tension and your issues that you are having.
Hands behind my
And
head.
both of our flexes here are highly trained and have a background which is required in a health and wellness field prior to coming on with us.
Yep. Go ahead and push out against me. Push. Yep. So I'm like putting all my force in my arms right now.
Exactly. Yep. Now we relax a little more.
Okay.
There we go right here. And go ahead and push out again.
Feels amazing.
I can imagine this for athletes, Annie, is
yes.
amazing, right? Like, if you're talking Notre Dame football or basketball or whatever, I mean, this is...
Speaking of athletes, Ian Book is actually our brand representative.
Very
so,
cool.
yeah,
Cool,
he's been in with us. He gets stretched, too. He's a part of our team now, and it's wonderful. So we love having athletes. It's great for anyone, especially like pre- or post-op surgeries as well, or anyone coming off can come on in. We are happy to work with anyone in any body because everyone's physical body is different.
Right, not everybody has an Ian Book body, so it's good for all shapes and sizes and athletic abilities to have a way to help them. It's not just for sports, I imagine. I mean, it's for everyday life.
And that's why it's here. It was my parents found it in Florida. My father felt there was nothing like it in the area, so he brought it to this location to be able to show everyone the benefits that this can have.
Well, I don't know about you, but Ian Book body all the time. Annie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much.
you.
Stretch Lab with us here on ABC 57 Kickoff. We'll be right back to a rainy South Bend right after this.
With the same rich tradition of the Irish.
Wake up the echoes cheering her name.
Send the volley cheer on high.
Shake down the thunder from the sky.
What though the odds be great or small?
Old Notre Dame will win overall.
While her loyal sons and daughters
march on a victory.
It's Tim Brown, Heisman Trophy winner, and you're watching ABC 57 Kickoff.
You're watching ABC 57 Kickoff, presented by Afdent Dental, live from the campus of Notre Dame, with your hosts, Allison Hayes and Vahid Sadrazadeh.
A rainy day here in South Bend. You're taking a look from Eddy Street Commons out onto Angela Boulevard. It is wet, rainy. We've seen some lightning in the area. It is a very steady rain at this point. It is supposed to dissipate and wear off later on, but if you're coming down right now, definitely have that rain gear ready because you are going to need it. Well, welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. I'm Allison Hayes.
And I'm Vahid Sadrazadeh. No, we're not in the 305 anymore. We are in South Bend, the 574, where the Irish are coming off to that season-opening loss to the Hurricanes. Allison, they've had 13 days now in between games, and Marcus Freeman was asked specifically about that after the Miami game. Your guys want to get back on the field. They're antsy to get back out. It's going to be a 2-week layoff.
It's challenging to sit back and not be able to get back out on the field as quickly as you want. But, hey, lessons have been learned, and they're ready to put those lessons into action tonight when they take on the Aggies.
You know, I think understanding the opponent, like understanding who you're going against is so important, especially with your defensive line and understanding what chances can you take and where you must stay in terms of your rush lanes. And if it's first or second down and it's a 50-50 situation where you don't know if they're going to run or pass, you know, sometimes those twists and stunts can really be problematic for a defense in terms of how to fit and stop the run. So the overarching theme to me is everybody still has to win one-on-one.
Yeah, Marcus, talking all week long about the focus, about the urgency.
We heard that throughout the week. Him, his players.
Right. I think they need that. I mean, when you're in a 12-game season, you don't have a conference championship game. We've talked long and hard about that topic, so we don't need to dive into that today. But when it's a 12-game season, the playoffs, you're allowed probably one loss. A 2-loss Notre Dame team who doesn't really play anybody the rest of the season, that's trouble. Urgency is the word.
And we're seeing that as a trend. I think earlier in Freeman's career, we saw him get out to a fast start, have a lead at halftime, and then watched it kind of dwindle off and lose those games like Ohio State, like his first bowl game in the Fiesta Bowl. Then now we're seeing them getting off to a slow start, national championship game, and then trying to make a valiant comeback late in the fourth quarter and sort of just running out of time. They did that in the national championship. They did that against Miami.
I have to tell you, I've been asked this week, how is the vibe in South Bend? What's it like? It's cautious optimism, but I also have to say I've heard a lot of people that are worried about what this offense is going to do. They're not running the football. They have two of the best running backs in college football. I was going to say the National Football League, not just yet, but in college football. And if they're not utilizing that to run the ball like they did last year, I don't know how far this team's going to go if they do make the playoffs.
Well, and we touched on it. This weather is perfect for that run game to get it established, get that offensive line protecting them as well. Of course, coming up on our second hour of ABC 57 Kickoff, we have a great show in store. Look at that. Bryant Young, Super Bowl champion, Hall of Famer, and just a great Irish legend. He's joining us. We're going to break down the Notre Dame offense. We've got Kyle McCarthy, another former Notre Dame football player who just inked one of the largest contracts in NFL history as an agent.
And your game day forecast. We've been hearing from our meteorologist, Dave Caulfield, it's going to stop at some point before the game is set to get underway tonight. Remember, it's a 7:30 kickoff. But what does that mean for tailgaters who are coming in between noon and 2? And, of course, a special story we've been working on, Diamond of Hope. And that's coming up right after the break. You don't want to miss it.
Fighting to see the field just one more time. Born to an Irish Catholic family in the southwest Chicago suburb of Channahon, Illinois, Bria Murphy was a Notre Dame fan from the start, with dreams of one day attending the university and playing college softball like some of her heroes.
However, a year ago, life threw her the ultimate curveball, putting in jeopardy not only her collegiate aspirations, but more importantly, simply playing the sport she fell in love with as a kid. Here's a story of heartache, healing, and a diamond of hope.
I didn't know if softball was going to be possible again.
Ready?
Yeah. Just started sophomore year of high school. Then August 21st, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's T-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma.
A little over a year ago, 16-year-old Bria Murphy's life changed forever. Growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, her lifelong goal was to play collegiate softball, with the ultimate dream of playing for the Fighting Irish.
They're definitely my future. I love the coaches, I love the players, and I mean, I've been a fan since probably I was born.
I've watched her play since she's been 5 years old. I've watched her grow in this sport, and she was really good at it. Playing on a higher level team, she was doing her thing on the field. It just got taken away from her, just like that.
I was terrified. I mean, it was terrifying to think that something like this could happen to me.
Taken by ambulance from the softball field straight to the emergency room, Bria would eventually spend 17 nights in the hospital. Just diagnosed and still very weak, there was only one question on her mind.
And she just turned to me and said, "Dad, do you think I'm going to play softball again?" That was the hardest thing to hear. I'm like, "Yeah, we are. Whatever you need from me, I will help you get back there."
We weren't going to start right away. I mean, I was getting through treatments, but I mean, talking to the doctors more, the more we talked to them, it felt more possible.
That possibility became a reality in the spring of 2025. Brian, a chiropractor by trade, was able to slowly start working with Bria, first on her mobility, then on her swing.
And we would go to the cages first. First couple times it was, little ground balls. And then all of a sudden she started to lift the ball a little bit more. And then all of a sudden the ball gets to the back of the cage. And I'm like, all right, we're ready for a field. Like, let's see where this ball goes to the field.
Day by day, Bria's comeback was starting to take shape. The at-bats in the garage when the weather was too cold. The indoor hitting sessions in the cage. And finally taking the field where her dad and her JV coach would spend hours with her, fielding, catching, supporting her dream of playing ball again.
Short term is getting back to playing, hopefully play this fall with my team, even if it's just hitting. I love to hit, so that's my goal. But long term, I want to be back to how I was before this took me down. What I am right now, I want people to know me as just Bria. I play softball, I'm really good at it, and I'm just the person they knew their whole lives.
August 30th, 2025, with her family watching, Bria Murphy's comeback was off and running. She stepped up to the plate in a competitive softball game. A year ago, this moment, to anyone else, would have been inconceivable. But not for Bria, and not for her dad, Brian.
He helped me the most, I would say. And even the first night, second night in the hospital, he told me I was going to play softball again. And I think that helped me the most. And he knows that I'm going to play softball again. And he's never had doubt in me at all. So he always knew I was going to get through this and play again. So it's been the most help. I'm better than the bad things that happened to me. I'm more than the bad things that happened to me.
You look like you're ready to do all the work.
I think so.
We are so fortunate today to have Bria and her dad join us from Illinois. The rest of your guys' family is offset as well. Thanks so much for being here today. Bria, I first got to ask you, how are you feeling, and how are you, and where are you with treatment?
I feel great right now. I'm kind of in remission right now, and just having regular meds all the time, and I go to the hospital once a month now, so I'm at home a lot now.
Well, just first, as a mom, I just want to say, hearing that, watching that story, hearing you tell your story, very moving. I'm choked up, and I have a 16-year-old daughter myself, and I know how hard this must be for your family and you, but wow, you are incredible, and you are inspiring and beautiful and all of these powerful things. So thank you for sharing your story and being here with us today. And you're a Notre Dame fan. We know you grew up a Notre Dame fan, but this is definitely not your first time here on campus.
No.
You've been here a lot.
Yeah, I've been
and
here a
also
lot.
softball, right? You've been here for 3 softball camps?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. What is that experience like to take part in the camp, and just how fun? What's it like to be in the camp?
I love meeting the players, and sometimes been going there for years, I memorized some of them, and I love watching them and be like, oh, I met her. It's really cool to see.
Well, what is it like for you, Dad? I mean, just to be here and help her along the journey. I mean, I know you guys kind of step by step. I can see tears in your eyes now. I mean, step by step, you're walking through this process together.
Yeah, I mean, probably the first or second day in the hospital, she turned to me and asked me, will I ever play softball again? From that day forward, it's like, I got you. Hey, I'll do this with you. I will never push you to do it, but I'll give you the nudges. And all I had to do ever since, I don't know, February when we started kind of getting back into softball mode, all I had to do was give her nudges. Like, come on, let's go out to the garage. Let's hit off the tee. And it would be 20 balls at a time. And there would be some days where after 3 or 4, she would have to kneel on the ground and just, I got to rest. But then she would always pick back up and take some more swings. But she would always finish that bucket. That was the goal, just to finish the bucket, however long it took to be out there. If she was in a jacket or a hoodie and it was, 20 degrees outside, we were still in the garage hitting.
Well, we have the ultimate surprise for you today, Bria. A few members of the Notre Dame softball team are here to surprise you. So we have Michaela Castor. Hi, Michaela. Right-handed pitcher. Outfielder Mickey Winchell. Hi. And designated hitter Paige Cowley here with us today. Can I borrow your microphone?
Yeah, there we go.
You guys can share one over there. But, for Bria, who has been to 3 softball camps and, has softball as a dream, as a collegiate sport, fighting through this, I know you guys go through a lot, but what is it like to go through that battle and to see her here today?
I mean, it's just incredible to see the support that you give our program, and we've heard that you've come to a couple camps, and we hope to see you come back to more, absolutely. And we're actually having a practice after, so you're more than welcome up to the stadium, and we have something up there too if you want to come up. But it's just incredible to see the support that you give Notre Dame softball, and we love having you here.
And I'll ask the girls back here, just advice for her maybe. She's an aspiring college softball player. What would you give her advice to try to make that dream a reality?
Yeah, of course. Grit. I mean, and you show it every day, all day. So keep doing that. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes fighting through the hard days, and we know you got that in you, and just keep doing that. You're amazing.
Awesome. Bria, do you have any questions for these experts over here?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just like I remember seeing some of you guys at the camps, and I just think it's really cool to see you. And you guys know me now, so.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm sure you'll want to take pictures after the fact. And Bria, share some of those softball practice pictures with us when you get a chance to.
Okay.
And let me hear a Go Irish from you guys.
Go Irish!
We'll be right back on ABC 57 Kickoff.
Band for 5 years, and I played trombone.
Yeah! The manager of the rock band Chicago, Peter Chivarelli here. Coach Marcus Freeman, everyone.
We're here to thank you and to pass out some book bags, but Peter, thank you for your generosity. Thanks for being a part of Notre Dame football, but also thanks for what you do for our university. You guys usually see them with helmet and numbers, all right? But they're real people. I promise you that.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
I love it, man. Thank you so much.
Did you sign this for my little brother, bro?
Oh, yeah, of course, man.
Love the piccolo.
Yeah, you know, I love the band, so it's nice. This is great for me.
Go Irish!
Thank you, guys.
I just love that tradition. It's growing and growing every year. It's something that the band and the football players really look forward to.
Marcus Freeman, head coach Marcus Freeman, got the biggest standing ovation and cheer you could ever imagine. The line was wrapped around the building so the students could just have a moment with him, sign some autographs. It was awesome to see. And really, the players out there thanking the band members for what they do and the work they put in. It is a special moment.
And that marching band is the best in the land, right? And it is such a huge part of what Notre Dame football is all about. And I love the fun fact is that offensive lineman Emil Wagner played trombone for 5 years. He got a huge round of applause. They tried to talk him into picking up a trombone. He was like, no way.
Not going to do it today because he is out there playing football, a big one for the Irish today. And will they stay dry this afternoon? I don't know about that. The rainy forecast continues here. The rainy day continues. We saw some lightning a little bit earlier on. Dave Caulfield joins us live from Eddy Street. Dave, are you still tracking those storm clouds? What's it going to be like for kickoff tonight?
Yeah, to put it in band terms or music terms, Vahid, we've been playing the sad rain violin for the last 2 hours or so. But I do have some better news, and it could get here as soon as about 30 minutes. The rain has been pushing through. As you mentioned, it's been heavy at times. We've even seen some strikes of lightning, heard some thunder as well. But that rain is moving quickly as it pours down on South Bend. So we're really actually seeing a lot of this activity head to south of campus. And while it is still raining right now, we are looking better as we head into even the next 30 minutes or so, and definitely by the time we get to game time. So not a lot of lightning showing up near us right now. That is really dove to the south and we will be looking at temperatures in the 60s for the rest of the afternoon. And really, it looks like this rain is only around for another 15 to 30 minutes or so, with not a lot of activity behind it. We could see some redevelopment in the afternoon, but the best chances of that are west of campus, closer to the state line of Indiana and Illinois. We're talking about game time temperatures in the 70s, and I keep saying this because it bears repeating. The game should be dry for Notre Dame and Texas A&M. And speaking of those two institutions, today's temperature at kickoff likely in the low to mid 70s. If we were playing this game at College Station like we did last year, even at kickoff time later in the day, temperatures would be near 90 with feels like temperatures in the mid 90s. A very hot and humid day in College Station today. We have the humidity producing the rain right now, but it really won't be all that humid as we get closer to game time. So that's not something we need to worry about because it's been so dry here across the South Bend area that this rain is going to help, but it's not really going to linger in the air all that much as it pushes out over the next 10 to 20 minutes or so. So that is the forecast as we see it here. We'll send it back to you on Eddy Street, outside of Eddy Street Commons. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield for ABC 57 Kickoff.
Well, joining us now, former Notre Dame safety and captain Kyle McCarthy. Thank you. Going from Notre Dame to the NFL, back to South Bend as a graduate assistant, now agent. Kyle, you have had quite the career path, and we are happy to have you joining us on ABC 57 Kickoff.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always good to get back to South Bend, God's country, also known as. Been a heck of a ride, and always good to get back and see a few friendly faces.
Well, you are the director of football now for Athletes First. It's a full-service sports management firm. You just made headlines, help facilitating former Notre Dame and current Baltimore Ravens safety Kyle Hamilton, the signing to what is the extension, making him the highest paid safety in NFL history. And as you put it on your Instagram post, the largest by a significant margin in every metric.
Yeah, Kyle was a little bit better player than I was. So, no, he's just an absolutely incredible person, an incredible player, a true Notre Dame man, and he deserves every penny. He's I'm a little biased, and I told the Baltimore Ravens that, it makes it easy when you truly believe someone's the best at what they do, and he is, in my opinion, the best defensive back in the NFL, and, again, just a phenomenal person off the field as well. So it was a blessing to be on his team and be able to work with him.
How did that relationship start? I understand that you guys were friends before this took place, so walk us through that.
I don't want to put you on Front Street, but we weren't really that friendly before I started working with him. But okay. Just you recruit a kid and you have the opportunity to sit down with him and his family and tell him why you think he'd be a good person for their team, a good support system for their team. And after meeting with his parents and then Kyle himself, and just kind of laying out a vision for how I thought we could help support him in his endeavors. It ended up working out, and again, he's just a phenomenal person, and so we have hit it off. I mean, shoot, we're the Notre Dame brotherhood's a real thing, and it doesn't matter what age you are. I'm friends with guys that played way before my time, and shoot, guys they're playing now. So we've hit it off, and again, just a phenomenal person that does things the right way, and I do consider him a friend, but I also work for him, so I got to be a little careful there.
Well, walk us through the sports agent kind of mentality, right? We've all seen Jerry Maguire, but what is that day to day for you? You get a potential client. How do you
the courting process?
Right, what is that like?
Yeah, it's good and bad, right? Just like anything, just like any job. I mean, love what I do. I'm still around the game, and I never once thought I'd be on this side of it. I actually, as I coached here, and I always thought I'd be a football coach. And so this kind of came up organically through my former agency when I was a player, and an opportunity to be around the game and support people, share kind of advice through your process and advise them through their career and help them achieve their goals. So, you learn as you go, but so little of what we do in the agent world is really contracts. So much of it more is the advisory process off the field to support their careers and certainly trying to maximize their value on and off the field.
Well, name drop maybe just a little bit. I know you've got Matt LaFleur, the head coach of his Green Bay Packers here. But he said, do you think Kyle can hook me up with a little back behind the scenes?
Matt's a nice guy, so maybe. I don't know. Yeah. No, Packers are looking good, by the way.
They are.
But yeah, no, I work with some of the best and brightest in the NFL, which is certainly a blessing that they've asked me to represent them, and I always feel like representation is an extension of you, and so that's something that's really, really important to me. But yeah, Matt LaFleur, sticking with your Packers, Quay Walker, Lucas Van Ness, a couple first-round draft picks, Donovan Jackson and Jack Sawyer from last year's Ohio State National Championship team, Xavier Watts from Notre Dame,
Pretty good
Cole
one.
Kmet, kind of go down the list. But, it's a blessing to work with a lot of great people and obviously great players.
Well, you were also named, to brag a little bit, The Athletic released a NFL's 50 under 40. Just how does that feel to be acknowledged in that way? But also, do you feel like your experience as a player, as a coach, has really kind of helped you become a better agent?
Yeah, at first it was embarrassing. I feel like, as an agent or an advisor, you try to stay behind the scenes a little bit. But it was obviously wonderful to be recognized by my peers in the business and things like that. So, you just try to do things the right way. Sometimes being an agent has a negative connotation to it, like a greasy car salesman or something like that. But so I work really hard to just do things the right way, treat people with respect, and but also be direct, right? Obviously, a lot of work goes into that behind the scenes so that you know what you're talking about and you're prepared on things. But just trying to do things the right way and be direct and work your tail off.
What is your advice for maybe players today who are, they have dreams of the NFL, and the college world has changed so much too, right? Since you probably got into the business, but what is your advice to these college players who are just coming out of the pros saying, like, I'm going to make big bucks, and it's the stardom? What is your advice to maybe Kyle Hamilton and some of the guys that you cover?
Yeah, I wish it was like that when I played, right? I graduated with like $20 in my pocket, but no, I'll say this, and I'm not trying to be cheesy, but my advice to them is be happy where your feet are. This is the NFL is a business, and it's the greatest job in the world, no doubt. But you only get to play college football once, and it's truly a special place and a special time in your life to be in the locker room with these guys, going to school. After practice and things like that, you go home and play video games. When you're in the NFL, guys go home to their families. It's just a little bit different. It's much more of a business. So just enjoy the time you have there. Focus on ball. You got to keep the main thing, because if that's not working out, nothing else is going to work out. Speaking of like the compensation side of things and all that stuff. So you got to keep the main thing, focus on football. And I know that's kind of a boring response, but it's just the truth. I mean, you got to go play great on Saturdays, and if you have any chance to make it on Sundays.
Well, NIL has significantly changed everything, I think, in a way, about college football. Before, an agent wasn't allowed to talk with players when they were still players at the university level. Now you are able to. Are you connected with any current Notre Dame football players?
Yeah, for sure. We've actually hired an entire new vertical in the company to focus on collegiate and high school representation. I'm, kind of picking and choosing my spots there just because of, my current book of business in the NFL. And so, but I do happen to work with Jeremiah Love. So hopefully,
another pretty good one.
Hopefully it clears up, but, hopefully he touches the ball a few times. But again, just a wonderful Notre Dame man. I mean, he's, just a wonderful kid and certainly a pretty talented football player.
Well, awesome. I just love having you come on. You have a tailgate you're hosting with your Athletes First today over on Eddy Street Commons. Got some big namers.
The Athletes First tailgate tour over there on Eddy Street. So come on by. All are welcome, and it should be a great time. Hopefully this weather clears up. But, hey, we're in South Bend, rain or shine. We're going to be ready to go.
Well, we did a little digging, too. This is your first time live with us on the show, but you did join us back in 2020 in a Zoom call, if you recall. I was pregnant at the time. But if you want to check out that interview, you can go to our website, ABC57.com. We talk a little bit about your cancer battle, about your family, your growing and new family at that time. Just neat. And, of course, your playing career. And you can find this interview today on our website as well.
Thanks so much, Con.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. We'll be right back here on ABC 57 Kickoff. A rainy morning in the 574 South Bend, looking at thunderstorms and rain showers, but hopefully, according to Dave, it's going to clear up later this afternoon for some good football weather between the Irish and the Texas A&M Aggies. Well, Notre Dame's offense is trying to reset after a tough start on the road against Miami.
But if history tells us anything, it's that Freeman knows how to rally his guys. ABC 57's Talia Baya breaks down the numbers on offense.
Yes, looking back at history, Freeman is pretty solid with the bye week. He is 5-0 with extra rest, and he's actually 9-1 overall if you include playoffs and the bowl games, with that one loss coming when Brian Kelly left to LSU, and it was his first game. But if they want to walk away with the win, Freeman said offense needs to start early. And Allison and Vahid, like you keep saying, urgency, urgency, urgency. That is what they're looking for. Against the Hurricanes, Notre Dame's offense put together a valiant but not overwhelming performance, finishing with 314 total yards. One bright spot, freshman quarterback CJ Carr, who actually outthrew veteran Carson Beck, putting up 221 yards to Beck's 205.
He showed he's ready. He's capable, and as you saw as the game went on, we were able to take some more shots. CJ can execute the entire game plan, the entire playbook. He's a special player.
The biggest slowdown came on the ground. The Irish ran it 28 times for just 93 yards, averaging about 3 yards per carry. Jadarian Price led the way, while Jeremiah Love finished with only 10 carries. The theme out of the running back room has been one word: urgency.
We got to be urgent. There's no shortcuts to this thing. We just got to trust the process, whether it's me or Jeremiah, and we don't take those reps for granted.
And it's not just the running backs. The receivers are preaching the very same message.
We definitely, improved on our operation a lot, just with our alignments being having a lot of urgency. This week we're flying around. Getting that good tempo in.
The receivers had a steadier outing than the run game. Carr's top target was tight end Eli Reardon, who pulled in 5 catches for 97 yards. But the offensive line struggled, allowing 3 sacks, and turnovers were costly with a lost fumble and an interception. Putting it all into perspective, Notre Dame, coming off the bye week, has 24 points and 314 total yards on game 1. The Aggies are balanced, averaging over 300 passing yards and 170 rushing yards across their first 2 games.
Mike Elko coach teams are tough, physical, and they won't beat themselves. Really good quarterback that can hurt you with both his legs and his arms. Deep running back room, and fast and talented skill.
Yeah, Notre Dame's key goal is to be more consistent on the ground and really protect CJ Carr. Marcus Freeman also said the other day they do want to focalize their offense around Jeremiah Love, but they have to respond to what the defense is giving them. The other week, or the first week, Texas A&M gave up 208 rushing yards to UTSA. So to me, that seems like a green light for them to feed their running back. So hopefully we'll see a lot of that today. Reporting live from the campus of Notre Dame, I'm Talia Baya, ABC 57 News.
Well, I think a key stat from Talia's report is that Carr was sacked 3 times. There was a lot of talk from Freeman about play calling and all those screen passes and a way to help make Carr comfortable in his first career start. But you can drop as many bubble screens as you want, but if your O-line isn't protecting the quarterback, he's going to struggle feeling comfortable.
Well, we saw even on that one touchdown where he was scrambling around trying to find the open guy in the end zone. Again, it comes down to protection. And while Carr had 16 yards rushing after those 3 sacks, the 7-yard touchdown with 3 minutes to go shows that he can make the plays. But again, I hope the play doesn't break down. I hope he could just have time in the pocket to find his receivers.
Exactly. But, he doesn't have to have a ton of rushing yards, but when you run in the game-tying touchdown, that shows just what kind of player he is, and you got to love it. So, hey, talk about big-time players. We got one coming up next. How about Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ, and one of the greatest Irish legends of all time, Bryant Young, BY. He joins us next here on ABC 57 Kickoff. Welcome back to ABC 57 Kickoff. Joining us now, a true Notre Dame legend, Super Bowl champion, and Pro Football Hall of Famer, Bryant Young. We are so excited to have you here on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
This was a bucket list guest for me. I've been wanting to get you on for years, so really, really excited to have you be here today.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the show.
Well, you just came down from Holtz's Heroes, the breakfast that happens every year, the brunch where they honor, his players. And we're holding the trophy that you won today. You were honored for the Love Award.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that Love Award and what that represents.
Yeah, there are 3 pillars to Lou Holtz's philosophy: love, trust, and commitment. And this is the Love Award. Just going through hardship and life struggles and dealing with the loss of a child, and also what is given to us, much is required. Through our own experiences, the good and the bad. There's a responsibility to that, and how you are. The lessons learned through the adverse situations. And for me, being able to love and the experience that I've gained through that, love and have empathy and see people in a different way, in a different light, life has a way of doing that to you. And going through life and the ups and downs of it, it's been such I always say a blessing, but we don't sign up for things that are the lessons we need sometimes that are so devastating and hard and tough to go through. But when you do go through them, there is maturity and there is an expectation of things that you've learned that you have to steward well. And so I'm charged with trying to be able to love others and see them as God sees them.
Well, when we have our guests come on, we always like to kind of take a walk through memory lane, take a look back at just what made you such an incredible player here at Notre Dame. So taking a look, we have some graphics here. At Notre Dame, you were an All-American defensive tackle, team captain for the Irish, went on to be a first-round, 7th overall pick by the San Francisco 49ers, playing all 14 years of your career, which is unusual in this day and age there. 89.5 sacks, 12 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries, many, many more accolades over the years, including 4-time All-Pro, and, of course, Super Bowl champion, and the list just goes on and on. And I imagine, all of that plays into you winning an award like this, being honored by Holtz's Heroes Foundation. This coming week, you've got the Newt Rockne Memorial Award Society coming up on Friday before the Purdue game, where you're being given an award there as well.
Yeah.
And it's just all about, not just you as a player, but you as a person. How much do you feel like your time here at Notre Dame shaped you into being the person that you are today?
There was a big kind of the building block in my foundation, how things started here, coming in as a young boy and leaving a lot more mature than I came. And, and then having an opportunity to be among the student athletes and the students here and integrated in the student body. You learn so much about other people, and it grows you in ways that you don't know you can grow, but they're needed. And so the pillars of the program, going through that, it's been life lessons and teachings, and so I'm just grateful to be able to have gone through such a unique and awesome experience. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. And like I said, it's been the foundation of kind of who I've become and continue to become. I'm always striving to be better. And so this place has been a real extension of what was already kind of given to me at home, and it's just been an enhancement of my life. And so Notre Dame means so much to me, and so I want to do everything I possibly can to be a great advocate and an ambassador for Notre Dame.
I'm sure Lou Holtz had a big part of that, at least on the field and in the stadium while you played for him. He has so many nuggets of wisdom over the years, and so many, just pieces of advice. And I know his players are close to him still. He had such a big impact, left such a big impression. Maybe what is a nugget that you learned from Coach Holtz? Maybe just one, I know of many, over the years that's impacted you the most.
Yeah, I think, there's so many things. But, his golden rules in life is do the right thing. There's never a bad time or wrong time, I should say, to do the right thing. So always stress do the right thing and do the best to your ability. Do things to the best of your ability, and then show people that you care. If you can live by those 3 nuggets right there, those are such life-giving things that you could impact people in the world just by doing that.
And we've heard other former players say the same thing. It's those pillars of what he was about that you've all been able to carry, and I think that's all part of that 40 for 40, right? Or 4 years for 40.
That's right, 4 for 40
for your entire
forever.
life, and just incredible to have you here with us. And, you know, we look back at and your career at Notre Dame. You had an opportunity to play against Texas A&M in your time here, 1994, the Cotton Bowl. What a classic. What do you remember from that game? You had a sack in it. You got the win. You had to get it done, but it was a nail biter.
Yeah, it was. You know, the first year we played them, it was a bit of a lopsided score, but they were a super talented team. They were tough, and we knew it was just going to take 4 quarters of just, you know, playing sound defense and just being committed to the plan. And so we did that. And then the second year we get another opportunity to play them, but this time it was a dogfight. I mean, it came down to, I think, a field goal, and we barely got out of there. But Texas A&M is always a tough opponent, and they always have talent. So we know that facing those guys is going to be, you know, it's going to require everybody. And so everybody has to do their job, be accountable to their roles, and let's go make it happen.
Well, I want to pick your brain. We want to pick your brain about the current Notre Dame football team after the break. But before we get to the break, I want to talk to you about what you've also dedicated your life to. You and your wife, you've dedicated your life to pediatric brain cancer and young kids, you know, going through that time. And I know you lost your son, Colby, at 15 years of age to brain cancer. I lost a dear friend of mine. He lost his daughter at a younger age to brain tumor and brain cancer. What is it like going through that journey to remembering your son and, you know, the years after where you and your wife have made a pledge and a commitment to find a cure and to find those answers and to bring awareness to brain cancer?
Yeah, it's you know, and when you're in the throes of just muck and life is hitting you hard, you know, and hope really sustains you through the chaos and the hardness and the despair. And, you know, and then, you know, being now on the other side of it, how can we best, through our own experience, advocate for those who may be experiencing this, a child, a parent who don't have the resources. And so what we've done is, you know, use this in the best way possible. And then we partner with the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. I was on the board initially. But then I got back into coaching, and then my wife and I, we just flip-flopped. So she was the vice chair for a while. Now she's on the board of directors. And so for us, it's how can we advocate best for families that are going through this struggle. Cancer, pediatric brain cancer is a nasty disease, and no kid should ever suffer from that. But we're in place, and I am advocating and an ambassador for the organization or foundation. And so how can we best, you know, point people in the right direction to help them find the right care and thrive, and let them know that we also care. So we want to come alongside of them and point them in the right direction to do that.
Well, thank you for sharing that story, Colby's story. I know it has to be a part of your everyday life, but it's a beautiful way to honor him and his memory and helping others. I know your friend's daughter, they had an opportunity, I believe, to do a FaceTime with you as part of that, which was very special to them, huge Notre Dame fans. But if you don't mind, we would love for you to stick around. We want to talk after this commercial break. We want to talk some Notre Dame football, the defense, and, you know, one of these up-and-coming players that has the same last name as you as well. Stick around.
Well, meteorologist Dave Caulfield here with a last check of your game day forecast, and we've been dealing with the showers, thunderstorms all show long, but as promised, I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but that rain has wrapped up. You still see the umbrellas, a few raindrops off of the trees and the buildings here, but that rain has ended just right on schedule, and we should be dry for the rest of tailgating and as we head into the game tonight as well. Your game day forecast, as we look towards the start of the game tonight, temperatures in the 70s dropping into the 60s. We should have a mixture of sun and clouds to start, but that sunset pretty quick after kickoff. So we'll see those partly cloudy skies as we head into the rest of the game there between Texas A&M and Notre Dame. We are looking at the potential for some redevelopment of those thunderstorms, but it should be west of campus. So we should be in store for really nice late summer weather. It won't be too hot, will not be too humid out there. A far cry from what the Irish experienced in week 1 against Miami down in Miami Gardens, but much better here. And finally, that rain is wrapping up and moving on. Won't impact us for the rest of the day, at least on a large scale in South Bend. For now, though, right outside of Eddy Street Commons, meteorologist Dave Caulfield for ABC 57 Kickoff.
Well, as promised, Irish legend Bryant Young back for another round BY, and I asked him for permission to call him BY, by the way. You're known to many as Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ, but I'm guessing maybe your favorite title is Dad.
Yes, that is absolutely my favorite title.
Well, his son Bryce Young is up and coming. He's now a sophomore on this Notre Dame team. Stud is probably a better word to describe him. As a freshman, he played in all 16 games for the Irish, recorded 23 tackles, had a team-high 3 blocked kicks, and that was tied for second best in all of college football. Brag on your boy just a little bit. What are those intangibles that make him such a great player?
Well, I think he works extremely hard. You know, we talked about taking ownership of the process. And, you know, I had the privilege of coaching Bryce in high school for 4 years, and before we ever kind of did anything, I was like, the thing that you ought to see when you put on somebody's tape is them hustling to the ball, like competing to the ball at all costs. I said, if you get that part right, everything else is going to be correctable. So he has that. He loves to compete, and he wants to be great. And so I'm just excited to watch him continue to flourish and develop as a young athlete, young person.
How hands-on are you now during the season? And maybe how tough is it to sit in the stands with you and your wife, you know, to watch that and to give him that advice at that moment?
You know, it's tough. I still give him advice. I don't try to over-exert myself because I played the game and I do see it. But there was a kind of a healthy handoff that I had with him from high school to college. He has really good coaches. I love Al Washington, and he does a phenomenal job just coaching and instructing them. He's a mentor to the young men, and so I trust them. And so for me to overcoach or tell him something different than what he's already been teach, I just want to be a reinforcer of what they're teaching him kind of on the back end and support them in the best way I possibly can. And so for me, it's allow his coaches to be his coaches and be a dad. But I still interject when he wants it, and I have to make sure that I get permission.
Well, Talia, do you want to transition it over to this year's team?
Of course. So looking at this year's defense after the Miami loss, how do you like the matchup for the Irish defense tonight against the Aggies offense?
You know, I think last game we played, it was probably not up to everybody's expectation, and it's the teams specifically, because they have a certain expectation as well as we do, but that doesn't matter in terms of what we expect. It didn't go well. They have to, you know, as Marcus said in his post-game speech, he's talking about everybody needs to take a look at themselves in the mirror, coaches, players, GMs, and I think they've done that. I think they've addressed, you know, the things that needed to be corrected. And my thought going into this game, they're well prepared. It's a great opponent in Texas A&M. They're going to play you tough, and the best is needed from Notre Dame to win this game tonight.
We're going to do X Factors and final predictions quickly. We've got 2 minutes. Who is your X Factor tonight?
My X Factor is the quarterback. Yeah, I think CJ. I love CJ Carr. Good first start. I think it's something to build on. And I just think his confidence grows tonight.
Awesome. Talia?
I got to go with Malachi Fields. I know he had that fumble for loss against Miami, but I think he was just shaking off some nerves because he did finish second in receiving. So expect big from him tonight.
For me, I picked Jeremiah Love because I think that's a big conversation piece. We want to get this run game established. But you know what? really the offensive line needs to be that X factor tonight because it all revolves around them. Without that offensive line, especially the tackles, you want to see improvement from Knapp and from Wagner, and I want to see them protect, open up those run lanes, give C.J. Carr some momentum and some time to make those big plays.
Adon Schuler got 1 interception last year against Texas A&M. He gets 2 today against the Aggies.
Oh, let's go.
Defense.
Wow.
I like the defensive backs of this game. Let's move to final score predictions. Your final score tonight.
Notre Dame by 1 touchdown.
Close game.
It don't matter the score, but we'll have 1 touchdown.
Okay.
I feel you on that. I mean, I think Notre Dame gets the job done. I think they're the better team. I think they were the better team last week, and we didn't quite see that, or 2 weeks ago now. But I'm taking the Irish in this one, 31-24. I think special teams could be a factor.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm taking the Irish, 34-21. I think they're going to keep it close until halftime, but they're going to pull away with the run game.
35-10. They run away with it in the second half. The offensive line comes together. The Irish get a much-needed victory today.
All right, Bryant Young, the legend, our crew here. Thank you for watching ABC 57 Kickoff.